Okay, so I am going to talk about the flex floor contract. So this contract, you can enroll anytime. It's not like a pool that has a deadline. Anytime you feel like the market is right, you can call us up and we'll execute this contract for you. So this is a long option strategy, meaning the farmer has to pay option cost. But with that option cost, you have 100% downside price protection. So you're essentially setting a floor while also having upside remain possible. So if the market continues to rally, you will continue to participate in that market rally. This is a forward delivery contract, meaning the farmer selects which months he wants to deliver. So for instance, old crop, you can look at like a May contract or a July contract. For new crop, you can execute this, and therefore you would be looking at like a December 2021 contract for fall delivery, otherwise like a March for 2022, and so on and so forth. This contract prices an even number of bushels on a weekly basis, and similar to the averaging contract, if the market rallies up and you're like, I'm happy with these prices, you can sell out the remaining bushels at the market anytime. So if it's a 24-week program and you get 12 weeks done, you can sell the remaining 12 weeks at the market price. There might be a chance you get some of that option cost back when you sell out as well. This contract is a minimum of 5,000 bushels, and once you eclipse the 5,000 bushel mark, you can do increments of 1,000. So like 6,000 bushels, 7,000, 8,000, and there on out. And the farmer is in charge of setting basis on this contract, and you're setting basis for the futures month that you selected. So if you did a July contract, you're looking at June or July basis, and you have to set June or July basis prior to delivery and prior to the last day of the contract. So I like to always go through some of the pros and the cons of every contract just to kind of help you guys understand exactly what you're getting into. And like I said before, you have 100% of your downside price protection. You're setting a floor. You still have some upside remaining. The nicest thing about this flex floor is it's 25% cheaper than an exchange traded option. So like today, for instance, if you were to buy a July 530 call, that's 47. That's going to cost you 47 cents if you were to do that on like a minimum price or in a brokerage account, versus this flex floor is around 35 cents. And the reason it's cheaper is because on the back end, StoneX is buying a string of weekly puts. And so when you break it up week by week, it becomes cheaper. Like I said, you can price out of the bushels at the market anytime, whatever bushels you have left to price. This contract is very customizable. So we can customize like where you want your floor price, and that will affect how much it costs. It could cost more, it could cost less, and you can delay start it. You can move the end date up. You can pick different months. So a lot of different things we can do with this contract as far as customizing it. And again, you're in charge of setting basis. So if you think basis is going to get stronger by the time summer rolls around, you do not have to set basis today. You can wait till basis improves and vice versa. And the last pro is it systematically sells bushels each week. You'll notice I have this also in the con section, which we'll get into. But the reason I have it down as a pro is because you don't have to, you execute this contract and then you do not have to make a second decision. So it's just gonna price bushels every single week. So if you like to make one decision, you put your bushels in this contract and then let them go. You don't have to, but that's an option. So now I'll get into the downsides of this contract. The main one is, and the biggest one is the option cost. It's going to cost you, depending on the market, anywhere from 10 to 40 cents. Right now, with all the volatility that we've had, it's going to be closer to like the 33 to 40 cents. There are ways you can cheapen it up. Like goes back to customizing it. When you cheapen it up, your floor drops lower, and you can call me to discuss that in more detail. And systematically selling bushels each week, I view this, it could be a con. And the instance where it's a negative is if you execute this contract and then the market stays range bound, but then really takes off like late June, July timeframe, then you price the majority of your bushels in the range bound market, and then you only catch the rally in like in the last 4 to 5 weeks of the contract. In that instance, you would have been better off buying a July 5:30 call. Okay, so here we'll get into some of the nitty-gritty and the details of it. So this example is based on the July 2021 futures. When this contract was typed up, July 2021 was at 524, and that is going to be our floor price. The cost is going to be 34 cents. And so your actual net floor is 490. The 524 minus 34 cents. The next few slides, I'm going to be talking all Chicago Board of Trade. So you'll have to account for basis at a later time. Okay, so we have 5,000 bushels divided by 24 weeks from this date until this date. That gets you roughly 208 bushels a week. And you are getting, so you're pricing those bushels each week. If the market's higher, you get the higher price. If the market's lower, you get the floor price. So you get the better of the two. If the market shoots up to $6 this week, you price your 208 bushels at $6. If the market shoots to, say, 475 this week, you price your 208 bushels at the floor of 524. The way I like to view it is during those 24 weeks, you're going to price at a different level every single week. And what this does is it takes a weighted average of all of those weeks combined together. That gets you a price, say it's 550. And then once you get your weighted average price, you take your 34 cents off. So what happens if the market goes down? Pretty straightforward. You sell all 5,000 bushels at the floor price, which is 524. Take off the cost of the option, 34 cents. You have a net price of 490 plus or minus basis. Compared that in this instance, the market looks like it's trading at like 350, 375. So 490 is still better than that. In the next example, the market rallies up. Every single week, you price at the market price on Friday, the closing price on Friday. So like this week right here, you priced, looks at like 590. Up here, you priced pretty close to $7. It takes your weighted average price from the weekly settlement. And in this example, it was 650. Still have to take your option cost off. You have a net futures price of 616. So if the market stays flat, you're pricing some weeks above the floor, and then you're pricing some weeks at the floor. Again, weighted average price. In this example, it was 534. Take the option cost off of 34 cents, and that gets you a net futures price of $5. So that concludes the flex floor. We appreciate you watching this, and we appreciate your business.